and I'm Gabby's mummy. Unfortunately, Gabby isn't here to finish her story, so I'm here to do it for her. Gabby was my first child, a fun-loving young girl and a brilliant big sister. Gabby wanted to use her story to create change. She was a young activist in the Quaker service. Gabby really believed in the power of sharing her story to help influence and inspire those in power to create the change within the mental health system in Northern Ireland. We can't lose any more young people. More needs to be done, and I soon will be starting my own campaign for Gabby. Change will happen.
I grew up in North Belfast. I think my first memory I can remember living in Ardoyne, the bottom streets. Like, I had dropped out of school, I had dropped out of employment, and I was literally doing like nothing with myself every day. So it was just sort of routine, just getting up every day, taking drugs until you go back to sleep and just getting up. And then sort of like the areas that I was running about and the people that I was mixing myself with, it just really wasn't a good mixture. So I was constantly being moved about. I was in hostels, I was in B&Bs, I was in numerous foster placements. And it just wasn't really easy. And then in October time, I'd say, I was moved into a B&B, and I was actually a victim of sexual assault. Social services have failed to do any access NI checks or anything on any of the workers. So I think after that happened, that was another really where my head started to go again, and the drug taking just sort of spiraled out of control. And I think since then I've had 3 suicide attempts. But I think my second one was probably the most scariest because, it was a really weird one, but because I couldn't actually remember taking the overdose. But I think I sort of started coming, because it happened, it was quite early in the morning, it was about like 7 o'clock, I'd say, around that time. And like, I can't actually remember taking it, like taking the tablets to take the overdose. But like, I can remember I was like hallucinating, and I went downstairs and I was sitting with another girl that was in the foster placement with me, and we were just sitting there and we were having a smoke and we were listening to music, and then my foster carer had come down to take her morning medication, and she was getting a glass of water, and then she said to me, like, Gabby, you really don't look a really good colour. And then she says, after she said that, like, I had just like keeled over on my side, and that's whenever I started seizuring. And that was like my first ever time taking a seizure. I never ever took anything like that. So that was really scary. And then I just woke up sitting on the settee, and like all the ambulance men were around me. The ambulance man was saying to me, like, if he hadn't got to me like a couple of minutes like sooner, like I was like minutes away from going into cardiac arrest. Like, after that happened to me, I was getting involved with a counselling thing called Nexus, and it's like specifically for people that have dealt with like rape or like sexual assault, like stuff like that. And I went to my first session, what I thought was my first session with Nexus. And whenever I went, they literally just told me that it was like an assessment, and it only lasted about like 25 minutes, and she was just like asking me questions about myself. And then she goes, so we're going to have to stick you on the waiting list, and you're going to have to wait 2 months for an appointment. And like, that's what I'm saying, like, people are getting these like waiting times, and by the time their appointment comes, it's like too late. So it is. Do you know, after 3 suicide attempts, that, do you know, I'm still here, I'm still sitting here today. So, do you know, obviously, like, there's a reason why I'm here, and there's obviously a reason why those times that the suicide didn't work out. What I would want to do is sort of go out and speak to other young people and sort of try and get it into their heads that they're not alone and that they can talk about their problems. As I've always said, like, a problem shared is a problem half, so it is.